Ever wondered what it takes to be a self-sustaining nomad on foot in 2025, whether solo or as a couple? So stick around while we expose the truths behind our struggles in developing an on-road partnership.
So if you're a fan of the outdoors, seasoned or unseasoned, smash that subscribe button, like, share around, and all that hype. Let's have a look, shall we?
As Mod has previously mentioned in the other episode, having arguments is a difficult thing because you don't have rooms to escape to.
No.
You can't say, even just as much as I'm going to go for a walk, because sometimes we're in the middle of nowhere, and that's a really scary thought, to think that your partner, the person you're relying on, is about to take a walk.
Yeah.
And you don't know where they're going and if they're going to be able to find their way back.
No.
Because you know what it's like when you're in a temper, you can have your mind set on something, you're walking it off, and suddenly you don't know where you are.
Or even if you have a look at our 20 top tips video, you know, all of those sorts of things that we incorporate to find our camp spots to sleep for the night.
It doesn't necessarily work when we're on the move.
No. You've literally got less than 8 hours altogether, pretty much, to get used to that area and everything that's around you in that time. So when you have an argument, it's just...
And might I add as well, when you're just starting out a relationship and you live in a house, the natural order of things is that you will have a date.
Yes.
And then you won't see each other for a little while, and then you'll have another date. And then you don't see each other for a while, and then you have another date. You get me? And you start to build your connection. Well, for us, it was we had to figure out how we were going to do that our way.
So like my tent would be there and Tara's tent would be there, sort of thing.
Yeah.
There's not, it's like dating the girl next door, essentially. Sorry.
It really was,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, it was...
Guy.
It was weird because we wasn't ready to get that close straight away, just like any person dating.
Any self-respecting relationship, yeah. You're just going to jump and jump and jump.
Well, it's a bit like when you hear stories of people meeting someone and they move straight in with them, and the relationship is a complete disaster.
It dwindles and dies really quickly.
Yeah, purely because they didn't have time to iron out their creases before they went for the deep dive.
Yeah.
So for Mod and I, we had to, like you said, develop this. Well, I've got my tent, you've got your tent. We'll just stay near each other, but choose to interact when we want, right?
Yeah.
And so we did spend every day with each other, trying to get to know one another, I guess, trying to understand...
Well, a bit like how you guys are getting to know us, what makes us tick, you know, what likes we have, what dislikes we have.
Yeah.
You know, it was building that friendship for that relationship that will flourish in the end.
Yeah.
You know, she likes that sort of music. Well, I like this sort of music. She likes to do things that way, and I like to do things that way. And
yes.
It's like, and as Tara said before, it starts getting like that.
Yeah, particularly as we are individually very stubborn and very driven characters.
Yeah.
And I would say that ordinarily that it can be a combination for disaster. I'm honestly saying that if we met and we were living as house dwellers, we both admit it, or we don't think we would have survived. We wouldn't have made them up.
It wouldn't work.
No.
I mean, even now, even as far down the line as we are, I would quite comfortably say it wouldn't work now.
No, even if we was to move in a house together now, I think that we have we've got I say we've got a handle. Even now, we still have our teething problems.
We're only human.
And well, I say teething problems, they're probably past teething, because teething is the initial, isn't it?
Yeah.
But even now, we still have our creases, and we still have our issues between each other. It's just that now it's a lot more diplomatic than what it was back then.
Yeah.
Back then, it was a serious loggerheads on so many things.
Hence why we said in one of our previous videos, don't talk politics or religion, sorts of things. And there's certain things that we wouldn't speak about. You know, if I'm saying I'm going to make a fire, Tara's not going to come, you tried? Well, perhaps you could try doing it like, really?
I'll just give this one a little bit of time, because the fire thing was one of the issues.
Yeah.
Now, I'm somebody that will make a small fire just exactly for what I need. Mod's a guy. When he makes a fire, it's a fire.
Well, I'm an outdoorsman my whole life, so it's been a case of that fire needs to keep going and going and going, and that longevity.
He'll make it a fire. There's no drama about that. There's, we're not talking about you only going to get a kettle pot on it. He's saying, no, this is going to warm people. It's going to be a fire.
Yeah.
Right? So, and I was like, yeah, but if you want to stay covered, and outdoorsman, nomad. Well, I say nomad.
Well, you were a nomad before me. Let's be honest about it.
So
in respects.
And also, I didn't have any outdoorsman skills. So I think the problem that we really had was Mod's skill set was very much, what would you say, survival, bushcraft?
Survival, bushcraft, outdoorsman. I'm looking for longevity in a fire. I'm looking for that caveman experience. I've got to have a fire because that is inherently in my DNA, and I love to watch the dancing flames at that moment in time.
Don't get me wrong, I love that too.
We
I
both
love it too, yeah. I mean, I'm not going to deny that I love that. But I mean, I can lose myself for hours just staring at a fire.
Yeah, any moment we've ever got given on private land, we've got a fire pit.
Yeah, why not? You know, it's beautiful to have a fire and to lose yourself in the flames and your thoughts. However, because we were coming at it from two different angles. I mean, I was a city girl, so all the stuff that I learned, it was basically a case of I hit a problem and I researched the crap out of the problem to get an answer how to resolve the problem. Now, sometimes the answer to resolve my problem was a survivalist approach.
Yeah.
Sometimes it was a homeless person's approach. Sometimes it was a prepper's approach and things. So, but I was never all engulfed in one arena at all. I had little things I was taking from every part of, I suppose, the spectrum of being outdoors.
Tara was a jack of all, master of none.
Yes.
Whereas I was the master of being the outdoorsman and the ex-forces sort of deal.
Put it this way, Mod can create fire with sticks. Me, forget it.
I bought you that bow drill once and you were like, I've never been able to do that. I'm not doing it.
I don't think I even tried it.
You didn't. It went mouldy. You chucked it out of your bag and
I was like,
done.
I've got a lighter.
Yeah.
See, this is where we differed, because Mod was saying to me, no, but you need to know these skills for if, and I was like, hold on a minute, if the apocalypse happens, how many people are going to be robbing shops for lighters?
Yeah.
Like, that's the first thing I'm going to be getting, as many lighters as I can.
Not the alcohol or the tobacco or anything else.
But lighters are tiny.
Yeah.
Right? So when you're talking about rubbing two sticks together and you've got your stick kit, my lighter compared to your stick kit is nothing.
And I will say, no offence to you bushcrafters, there's a reason why we do that. But being a nomad and having a nomadic lifestyle, especially whilst trying to find love, there's a lot of compromise you must take.
Ooh,
I shit you not on that. You think you know it all, and you probably do. You're probably really good and top notch, and you can get that bow drill to start in about 5 minutes flat, just like most of us can. But when you're starting a relationship, I shit you not, it is very important to take on what somebody else has learned on the road.
I'll tell you what it was for me. I was really annoyed watching those sorts of channels. In what they would do is they would go through all sorts of different things about lighting a fire. They'd have all different ways. So you've got your ferro rod, you've got your rubbing your sticks, you've got all these different things that you can use to create a fire, right? And then in their kit, they had as an emergency backup a bloody lighter. And I'm like, hang on a minute, that's the first, your emergency backup is all that other shit that you're doing.
And Tara was right, she went, look, instant fire. So it takes less than 5 minutes.
And look how small it is.
Yeah.
You know, you could carry 100 of those and not really notice it.
Yep.
Just
and do you know what? It lasts a lot longer, and I haven't, and it is one of those things. I haven't got.
But to get to the point, see, this is where we're going with. These are some of the dramas that we faced, because us hashing that one out wasn't just a one sit. We hashed that out for months about why you're just doing the tarps, tarpology. Another one. He's ex-forces. He's a cadet man. He's been in the scouts and all that. He knows tarps. I'm like, I can do that though. And he's like, no, I'm doing the tarp. And I'm, yeah, yeah. And, no, I'm doing the tarp. Do you know what? Eventually I realised, actually, he might be a little bit weird about how he does his tarps, but hey, he gets the job done and he does it really well. So I had to relent, right?
But I think that kind of swiftly moved into our gender roles, if you're allowed to say gender roles these days.
Yeah.
I guess we're quite nuclear, aren't we?
We're very traditional.
Yeah.
Nuclear is a weird one because
Yeah.
it often involves children and the
Yeah.
family setup.
But we do have a fur baby.
Yeah, we bought a fur baby. But, oh, and that's a whole other story, which we'll touch on soon.
Yeah,
But,
stay tuned for that.
Yeah, but
It was trying...
Oh, the roles, yeah. Trying to establish those gender roles, I
Yeah.
guess, because, put it this way, a cooking was one.
Mm.
Maud was determined to have a share in the cooking.
Yeah.
As a woman, I was like, that's not going to gel well at all with me. Like, this isn't, it's once in a blue moon for you to do a cook, but I'm going to be the cook. And I guess really what it was about is what each of us were really overtly stubborn on, and there was a lot, but the stuff that we got really overtly stubborn on, it was the battle of wills as to who will win the contest. Well, once we started working out that actually I'm more of a nester.
Yeah.
So Mod will find the spot, or both of us will find the right spot.
Yeah.
Mod will set up the camp and then I start nesting the camp.
Yeah.
So I'll make sure that everything's in the right place and that we've got the things that we need where we want them. And because that's a female role, right? Like, I wouldn't say that I'm the most effeminate woman in the world, but I
No.
still have those traits in me.
But she makes a bloody awesome nest.
I make a good nest and I make a good meal.
Yeah.
So, you know, I won on that front. But Mod also reluctantly had to admit that he makes for a good camp. He will set up a tarp, he'll set up the tent, he'll get it done in a jiffy, he doesn't need any help. You know, he just takes care of that. I don't have to worry about it. If we need firewood, I
Yep.
don't even have to look.
She
I
doesn't
just
even need to click. It's just, I will do it.
straight away, he's up, he's out, he gets it. And you know, things like fetching water, I mean, occasionally I'll do it, but it's not particularly something that I have to do because Mod being the man, he's like, no, you stay there, I'm going to go and sort the
But
water
the
out.
thing is, when I've come back, Tara's already got food underway. She's already got the pot on, or at least prepped. And I've come back with water, which is ready for the rest of the meal. I've come back with wood, if we require wood for that location, and not the hobo stove. I will come back with the wood. And that's, to me, that's my way of paying respects to my woman. If she's making the nest and Tara's making sure that my bed's comfortable and laid out appropriately, and so we're getting what we're normally used to and how we sleep and how we navigate home. And my job is to, don't worry, I've got the better sense of direction. Without fail, that's what men do. They have
And
a
my
better sense of
way,
direction.
I guess, my way of rewarding Mod for his efforts is to make sure he's always got the best cut of meat,
Yeah.
the best looking food items that we have, or the most amount of food.
I always get the nicest looking carrots, the nicest looking potatoes.
Of course.
And do you know what? You can either be completely ungrateful or go, well, I collected the wood and the water and this and that. This
So
is
I
what
deserve
I deserve. Or you can go,
well, that was a nice
That's
sacrifice.
really nice.
That's
Like-
a nice sacrifice.
Yeah.
You're dishing it up and you've still not given yourself the best bits. You know, absolutely not. I don't think... if he's doing the hard work and he's running around doing all the big lifting and the tough stuff, then yeah, too right. You deserve the best. You deserve
Yeah.
the best because that's what you're working for,
so
right?
my woman, in retrospect, needs the best water, needs the best sort of wood, needs the best sort of camp
Works both
setup.
ways. However, as we're saying, all of this didn't just fall into place.
No.
This, as we mentioned in the previous video, created a lot of tantrums,
Yes.
shall we say, between the two of us. The one thing I want to warn you about these, doing it as a partnership,
Yeah.
is, as we mentioned, you don't have a room to escape to or a way to take a walk. The answer, the obvious problem here with having an argument is no argument are you going to have privately.
No.
If you choose to be an on-foot nomad and live in a tent, as we do,
Especially in 2025.
every argument is inescapably in hearing shot of someone.
Yep.
And it's inescapable. Even if we were sitting in our tent having a row, the tent's made of fabric. Any dog walker within probably probably in a mile radius, actually, if we're really shouting.
I was going to say 10, but yeah.
Anyone nearby is going to hear it.
It gets hostile. It's like being in a boxing ring. But you've got nowhere to escape.
You can't walk away.
You are in that square or in that tent.
And you can't walk away. I mean, the best you can do is go, I'm going to walk over there where you can still see me. Well, when you want to walk away, you don't want someone watching. You just want to get out of their hair and get away. So we've had to figure out ways to do this. And put it this way, we've had rows in the middle of shops, in the middle of villages, towns, just because we're so used to not having any privacy that if we start arguing, the whole world hears it.
Yeah.
It's like we've had to teach ourselves to try and calm that stuff down.
Especially now on YouTube, we could be having an argument and one of you guys could be watching us through the windows whilst we're eating breakfast going, is that them? They're having an argument. Oh, what?
Oh, my.
They're completely different to online. We're not. We're just having an argument. But we can't have an argument at home.
Because even that's not private.
No. Because that'll bust our location. So where else are we going to have an argue? It's backpacks on. Fuck you. And it's like, and we pack our shit literally individually, separately.
Yep.
And it's the same at home. We've only got that much space between us in the tent.
When we're in the tent, that's literally what we do. Fuck you.
Yeah.
And we do that.
And just turn over. Because it is the only...
It is the only way. However, well, I would say it's the only way. We have found another way to argue.
Yes.
And this is going to sound, I mean, let me put it this way. It's not that we argue all the time. Most of the time, we're busy mates. But of any couple, I would say if you don't argue as a couple, there might be...
You're not human.
Yeah, there might be something wrong there. But we all got, especially when you're together 24/7 all the time, you are going to argue. It's inevitable. So now we have, when we get sensible and we're like, oh, hang on, we're getting a bit shouty, we revert to text messages.
Yeah.
Now, I kid you not, we could be sat here like this, having an argument, to-ing and forth-ing, and then suddenly we'll just shut up and we go to our phones.
Yeah.
And we tippy-tap away on our phones. Tippy-tap.
But
looking at each other. Are you answering?
But the good thing with that is it makes you take time to think and you take time to think of what you want to say. So perhaps you can maybe articulate a little bit more in a text message than going, I fucking hate you because you're a piece of shit and fucking rah, rah, rah.
And pardon me for cutting you off, but then you stop interrupting each other, right? Because you can't interrupt a text.
Right? So
I thought that was quite ironic. Me to cut you off there and do that.
So you're typing the text out and you're taking time to think of what you're writing and making sure that predictive text, and then all of a sudden that predictive text and what you're trying to say starts winding you up over the fact that she wound me up or I wound her up, and
now the anger's diverted. It
doesn't seem so important anymore, does it? And you go, and sometimes you just give up. There's been many times I've given up and going, I'm not apologising in a text. I'm not typing that out because it's pissing me off because I can't get my words out. You just put your arm around her, around each other and go, I'm sorry, like, we don't need this.
Well, the answer is do we want to be apart?
Do we want to go solo again?
Let us tell you something. We did fall out and we did separate.
We did. We separated for 3 months.
3 months we were apart, and I kid you not, it was awful.
Yeah.
We were in constant contact with each other because it was really hard to let go. I think the problem was for us at the time is that it was so much so soon, because it's really, it wasn't something that we'd ever done before, establish a relationship living on the road.
No.
So it was a really unusual situation. I think it was very overwhelming in that I was quite set in my ways. Mod was quite set in his ways. He wanted me to respect him as a man. I wanted him to respect me as a woman, and we couldn't meet that compromise straight away. No. And we was just like, right, sod it. We threw the towel in and we separated. Well, we wouldn't leave each other alone.
No.
And the weird thing is 1 minute we'd be messaging each other, having a go at each other. The next minute, we're,
It's like, shit, what have I done?
And you're feeling it, oh no, but I do love you, and I just can't be with you. And in the end, we're going 3 months down the line, we're still doing it. So we've got to figure this out. We clearly want something from each other. We clearly want this to work. So somehow you've just got to put your differences down and work it out, right?
Yeah.
But I would say that for anyone, even for couples that are already established in a house, you may have a better luck at trying to do it on the road.
If you're already established, because you spent years like we have now.
Refining refining how you communicate with each other, when not to communicate with each other, when to leave it.
Yes.
That's another thing. How to try and bring each other down from a raise, when you're suddenly your emotions are jump into the sky. We've learned different ways now of how we can bring each other back down again.
Yeah.
I won't say that we're foolproof.
No.
I mean, that would be ridiculous to say that we're foolproof.
Van Gogh's foolproof.
It's
Inside
overproof,
joke.
Overproof.
Overproof, yeah. As you know, a lot of you support us monthly and do us one-offs, and thank you very much. You guys, we leave you all over the screen, are absolutely awesome. We really appreciate, and some of you have become monthly supporters now as well.
I know, right?
And,
that's awesome.
Yeah, you guys are brilliant.
Every little helps, and especially in this day and age, I mean, we'll get to why our YouTube is so important to us further into the series, and maybe a lot of this will make sense then.
It will do. Anyway, let's get back into it, shall we?
Yeah.
So, you might be wondering, after we decided to get back together, how we were actually funding our nomadic life.
Even leading up to it.
Yeah, and leading up to it too. Well, as you all may know or may not know, I suffer with blood clots. So at that time, I was on a thing called DLA. So that was allowing me to live free.
Ish. I mean, you declared to him, hadn't you, that he was homeless?
I declared to them that I was homeless and all that lot, and they went, "Oh, that's absolutely fine. You can still claim."
And while we were dating, I had a couple of jobs in a local community that I was regular in, and it wasn't actually for much cash at all, because it was part barter, part cash.
Yeah.
For cash wise, it wasn't much. Jobs that I had, they were homesteading jobs, so you often got supplies from
She always
them.
got. I was shocked. She always got like eggs and old
Preserves
chickens. Yeah,
as
even
well.
chickens that had died on somebody that had poultry.
Well, some
and
people
stuff
would
like that.
call me to go and dispatch their chickens.
Yeah.
And then, they're like, well, if you just, I can't eat them because I'm used to having them as pets.
But
so.
that was a weird world for me, because being a woodsman and all of that lot, it was somebody's giving you chickens.
Yeah, quite literally. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, they were very tough chickens because they were at the end of their game. But it turns out the longer you hang them, the better the meat will soften.
Yeah.
So, and actually, some of the older chickens taste better the longer you hang them.
They do. But there was we were working for some local butchers, just flat packing their boxes on a Wednesday.
Oh, before you get there, right, so we got back together.
Yeah.
Right, we got back together, and we had started ironing out our differences quite well, actually, from the get-go. We were like, right, clearly it won't work. We realised why it didn't work before. The reason it didn't work before is because neither of us were willing to compromise. I think we were so determined to show each other, I got this, I know what I'm doing,
We
I
were
got
beating our
this.
chest, this is what I do, this is what she does. And
White silverback gorillas, that's what we were, right?
Yeah.
But and in contest with each other.
yeah.
When we got back together, we had this realisation that this competition between each other is absolutely
It's
pathetic.
destroying us.
It's pathetic.
It already destroyed us 3 months prior.
I mean, you've got a woman competing with a man. Now, I'm not going to get into politics, but we all know where that leads. We're all, us girls, we're we can't really battle some of the things a man can battle, and it's about accepting that we have to hand over the reins.
And vice versa for us men too.
In some circumstances, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, we started working on the idea that we had to compromise. And so then it was, right, from this moment forth, every time we hit a problem, we're not going to argue so much about it as try to figure out where's the compromise? Where are we both going to be happy? Once we started getting that on board, and it started to roll with it, didn't it? It really started to roll.
It did start to roll.
And it rolled really quite smoothly, actually. You were like, you need to relent on this. I'm a man. I've got this. You need to let me be a man.
Well,
and
I had money in my bank account, so you know, because of the clots and that, I could look after her monetarily.
I didn't like that.
No,
I didn't like it at all. And so to feel that I had to rely on somebody else, I was like, oh no, you're not doing that to me. I'm going to be independent.
And Tara kept on saying, this is meant to be for you and your disability or your ailment. This is your money.
Yeah, that's...
You know, stop trying to spend it on me. And I'm like, but it's there.
And I think, though, most importantly, I might have used that as an excuse, because most importantly for me, it was like, you're not going to take away my independence.
Yeah.
All my life, I've been independent.
Yeah.
All my life, I've been independent. I've never relied on anybody for anything. I've always sorted it out myself. So to get to that stage where I'm now having to learn to let go, it was really difficult to do.
Yeah.
But once we started doing it, we then got into, it was your birthday. It was his birthday. And so we thought, well, time to have a drink, celebrate, or whatever. And we had
the 2-cam rule didn't apply on my birthday. No, not on a celebration. But anyway, we got a little bit razzled, shall we say. We sat in the tent in this woodland that we've been hiding out in for months, Our
actually.
first tent that we actually bought together.
Oh, that was a moment.
Our first home.
That was a moment. We'll bring that up in a minute. But so we were sat in this tent, half cut, having a... what was it you'd call it? Chewing the fat with each other, having a real having a real buzz of a
having a real to do.
Yeah, and we decided that we should name ourselves, right?
Yeah.
We should have a name, like a group name. So we called ourselves the Rolling Dirt Monkeys because we had a trailer, right?
I think if you're watching one of our first videos, I've actually still got the hat that says Roman Dirt Monkeys on that one, but it was I still had the hat in our first videos, I think.
And one of our jobs that we were working was with a local business, a butcher.
Yeah.
And the butchers were a couple. Hi Garolyn, I hope you're watching.
Yeah, we hope you're out there. We haven't seen you in donkeys.
And we still love you for what you've done for us. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Can't be more grateful.
No.
But the butchers said to us, hey, you know, if you want, we've got a spare A-frame out the back.
Yeah.
Why not do an odd job in business? Because you've got a couple of odd jobs anyway. Why not make it a community thing, and we will advertise you outside the shop and you can get some trading.
You just need to think of a name for yourselves. And
we were like, oh.
A week before, we'd already figured that out.
Hang on a minute, I think we've got a name, right? So we were like, yeah, okay, we'll call it. Then it turned, because we couldn't do a trailer. We had a trailer initially because
that's why we had the Rolling Dirt Monkeys, because we were on wheels.
The reason we had a trailer is because some of these odd jobs that were a regular commitment were they needed their waste taken away, and we had somebody that was willing to take the waste.
Yeah.
So we used the trailer to take it from A to B, just walking it.
Yep.
And from the job to the place that wanted it. So it was a bit tough with the trailer. Anyway, we got rid of the trailer, turned it, instead of rolling Dirt Monkeys, we called it roaming Dirt Monkeys.
Because we roam.
Because we move around, right? But we've done really well with that odd job in business, thanks to the butchers, because anyone that went in and asked about, that board out there, they done us some real good justice.
And because it was quite an affluent area as well, you had the rich people, the poor people, and everyone between.
Yeah. And we were getting work from them all.
Yeah. Yeah.
From them all. And, when we started it, we were like a bit cagey about how we lived. And then we realised that it was putting people off. So we had a New Year's resolution and said, right, that's it. We're just going to be open and just tell people how we live and see how they respond. And if it's bad, then we'll shut up and we won't talk about it.
No.
But as it turned out, it was the best move we'd ever made.
Yeah.
The rapport that we got from people like that was amazing.
Yeah.
I can't be more grateful for the way that we were, the way that people responded to us in that manner. It was beautiful.
Yeah, it was really nice. And some of you still watch us. It's been brilliant working for you guys, and it's been absolutely amazing the things that you guys have done for us. You know, even washing clothes. When we said we don't want any money, but can we use the washing machine? Can we use tumble dryer?
Some of you, I mean, God, the amount of people that would work for it make us lunch and coffees and things, and we're like, oh no, take that off for the price, and they're like, no.
But we've always taken it off the price.
Yeah.
You didn't know, but we did.
We did, yeah.
Yeah.
Even if we stop for a cigarette or just a chat and a breather, actually we stop the clock.
Or a cup of coffee, we just stop the clock.
Yeah, and then we take it up again when we start.
So when the people turned around and said, well, how much do I owe you? We're going, well, we've only been here for 3 hours of work. Oh no, but you've been here 5 hours. But we've only done 3 hours of work, sort of thing.
Because we all stood around chatting for a bit. No, you can't include. No. What about? No, we're like, well, yeah, and we had like, no. But whatever. I mean, we weren't refusing tips. So some people gave us tips. That was nice. But the point is that business, it didn't just roll over smoothly. It boomed.
It boomed really well.
It went so mental that in the end we were having to say to people, we're so chock-a-block. We really just can't take any more clients right now.
Yeah.
And considering we're nomadic and we like the peaceful side of life, in the same day we had 4 jobs. Up to 4 jobs in the same day. Now, that might not sound like much to some people that have a car. We're having to walk from one job to the next job, to the next job, to the next job. So when you're at the job, you're slogging your guts out, you're burning yourself out. Then when you feel like you want to fall over and just collapse, nope, you got to walk to the next job. So
not meaning to sound rude to any of you, but you think 3 hours, 3 hours, 3 hours, 3 hours, 3, 6, 9, 10. That's 12 of one day. Just a 3-hour job at each client's house.
But we can't charge people for the fact that we're walking to their job.
No.
We would never do that. That's rude and outrageous. It's our choice to walk. It just turned out actually that the community that we're working in didn't have a very good public transport service.
No.
The only way to get from one job to the other was to walk or get a car. We weren't going to get a car. We don't want that.
Or a van or a trailer.
We don't want that kind of expense on ourselves.
No.
We don't want the kind of hassle it brings either. I mean, some of the terrains we go through.
I mean, you can see from this terrain, even if we had a trailer, there's a path, and the path runs, I don't know if you can see it, but it runs actually up behind here and then up through that way. You're not taking a trailer up through that, or a car, or a van, or a bloody spaceship. You just won't do it. You know, so, and that's why, and we don't mean to dismiss some of your comments going, oh, get a trailer, get a van, get a car. We don't mean to dismiss those. It just doesn't work. Not for us.
No.
You know, it
Bikes,
no. Tara's already done a bike, and she had a big, heavy, steel-framed bike.
Dutch bike. If anybody knows what a Dutch bike is, just look them up. They've got the big old basket on the front, the huge handle. They weigh an absolute ton. And I'll tell you what, when you've kitted the back out, because I had it, I took it to a proper bike shop and I had all the metal, what did they call it, the thing on the back?
Panniers and frames.
Frames for the panniers, and I had it all kitted out.
We used to sit on the back of them as kids so we could have a chopper bike.
But I won't, the problem is all I had to do was be on an ever so slight incline. It didn't have to be much, I'm not talking about this.
She started going backwards.
I couldn't move it because I'm only 5 foot, I'm only 7 stone, so to try and get those pedals moving, all of my weight would not move the pedals. I had to get off and push the blooming bike. The only time I could get on that bike and ride it was if I was on a flat or going downhill. And going downhill was really dangerous because it was only the back brake that worked.
You're skidding down the hills.
If I started picking up speed, I had to start shouting out, move! Because I knew I was never going to stop the bike quick enough. You know?
I'm so glad I wasn't around for that.
Yeah, and I was too scared to go in the road. So that was another thing, because I'm not a bike rider. The whole reason I ended up with the bike in the first place is my mum, when she seen me struggling with my bag and stuff, she said to me, oh, I've got a bike you can have if you want. I don't use it.
Well, she bought these 40, 60 pound a bag panniers for the sides of them. And she still had those when we first got together. And that's brilliant. Obviously with her rucksack and these panniers as well. And I'm like, why have you still got those? And she went, well, because it's got all my kit and everything else. And we went, oh, brilliant. Until we went away, didn't we? Yeah. We went away and a squirrel got at it.
Well, it ain't my first time either. I've had a lot of squirrels. There's one time, right, when I was with my son, me and my son were really, really hungry, hadn't eaten for days. And we'd found a little village that had a baker's in there. So we were like, right, well, the baker is going to be giving up food on a Saturday into the bin. Because, you know,
that's typically what they do.
They do, right?
That's how I learnt on the street being homeless at that point.
So any of those that go on about dumpster diving, been there, done it, whatever. We've moved on since then. We're all right now. But back in the day with my son, we done some dumpster diving. We got all these sandwiches, bags and bags of sandwiches and rolls, and oh, they were lovely. Anyway, we got this bag, a full, I think it was a bin bag's worth actually, a whole bin bag's worth of all these different sandwiches. Got them back to our tent, our camp, me and my son. Munched as much of them as we could at the time because we were so hungry. Anyway, obviously we couldn't eat the lot, but the next day we had to go and get water. So we'd left the tent with the bag inside the tent, wrapped up, but inside the tent. Went off to get water. By the time we got back from just getting the water, there were holes in the tent and bread rolls strewn all across the woodland. It was an absolute, it looked like a bomb had gone off. It was so bad. So my son and I had to, the holes in the tent as well. The squirrels didn't hold back. They literally ripped the tent apart. The tent was a disaster. The food was all over the place. It was just a nightmare. Anyway, after clearing it all up, I thought, I'm not having this. And this was when I was trying to get my son set up. So I finally got my son set up. Now he's left me. And now I'm on my own. I thought, I'm not having this. This isn't happening to me when I'm on my own. So my pannier that Mod's talking about, I had a pot of chili powder. So I poured and rubbed the chili powder all into my pannier. Do you know what? Didn't get touched. Didn't get touched at all. So
top tip right there. Chili powder.
Chili powder, I tell you, they don't like it. At the time Mod and I went off, didn't even think about it. It just escaped me. I didn't think there were going to be a problem.
She had a man in her life that was going to look after her. Didn't have to worry about those panniers.
Yeah, we got back. There was a big hole in the pannier. The food was all over the place. It was like, wow, man. But we make mistakes, right? We're not foolproof.
No.
But yes, the business did take off really well. In the end, really well.
And then I contacted the DWP and said, I'm doing little bits and bobs of odd jobbing and stuff like that. I don't want your charity anymore.
Well, I think what Mod had learned is, despite his clots and his problems, so long as he worked sensibly, he was still able to make some money. Yeah. And when we realised that we can make enough money with the two of us supporting each other, because there are some things I need to fill the gap with for Mod. For example, he can't get down on his knees and start weeding for 3 hours. He can't do that because it's going to kill him. Yeah. So I need to take, it's a way that we can balance it out. And we thought, well, if we can balance this out and you don't need those benefits anymore, let's just... Because there are people that need them more than us.
Yeah, a lot more.
If we're coping and we can make our bread with what we're doing, then we'll get rid of it.
A fully fledged business, the odd job and it's not worth getting caught out. And do you know what? The thing that really bugs me is the minute I came off of them, the minute I came off the benefits,
leave it alone.
They would not leave me alone. They would not leave me alone. They would not leave me alone. And then all of a
apply
sudden...
for more, apply for more, apply for more. That's what they kept saying
Yep.
to him. Apply for the
Yeah.
benefits. Apply. You can get this benefit. You can get that benefit.
So-
and then they went and...
Well, yeah. So
you can say that one.
So then, even up to modern day now, up to 2024, the minute we registered our YouTube channel online for our taxes,
Bearing in
and our pay,
mind, he'd given up the benefits quite some
about
time
7
ago.
years prior to that.
Right? So bearing in mind that had happened. We started the YouTube channel. We filled out the VAT form. Just so you're all aware, we did do that.
We're monetized. We work for a living.
Yeah. And we filled out the VAT. Holy cow.
I had a deposit of £10 into my bank account
From what was it? PIP.
a thing called PIP, right?
PIP.
I don't know. Well, I know what PIP is because I've done the Google searches, right?
But at first, because we had a client called Pippa, we're like,
yeah,
she
I
hasn't
thought,
got her account details. What?
No,
Hey?
Pippa doesn't have her account details. So I phoned my bank up and I said to them,
Where's
there's
this
an
money?
unauthorised
Yeah.
transaction in my bank account. What's going on? And they said, well, it's £10 from a personal independence. Well, they told me what this this PIP thing is. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm not on that. I don't receive benefits. Not anymore. I did 7 years ago.
And he didn't receive that one, funnily enough.
No.
He'd never applied for that one.
No, that's some amalgamation thing that happened 3 or 4 years ago.
Maybe, I don't know, but it was a bit weird.
Been looking into it. They've been trying to transfer people from DLA to PIP. And I'm like, okay, right, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. I'll phone them up. So I phoned HMRC, or these PIP people. And I'm going, I'm self-employed. I have been for years now. What's going on? And they went, oh, that's for your Christmas bonus, your £10 Christmas. I was like, okay, so I'm going to reiterate to you again.
It was really funny.
don't
I'm on the
have-
other end. I can't hear the conversation, but I heard him go, yeah, that's all good. That's all good. But can you tell me how long I've been claiming this benefit then? And they went,
Yeah. So he jumps in and tapping away on the computer. And went, oh, this is your claim from about 7 years ago.
Well,
and
the
I'm
one
going,
that I haven't claimed.
the one that I didn't claim because I told you that I was now self-employed. It's like, oh yes, but because of your disabilities, because of my ailments, and it's not just me clots, whatever. But we can reactivate your claim. No. What are you? No, my taxes are in order. I have to do my returns every year. And you're saying, oh, but you can still claim. Yes, because you can still work 16 hours a week. And I'm like, I don't care. I don't. And this is the problem, isn't it?
It is.
The people that get benefits and they try and break free from the system.
The system's drawing them back in.
We're gonna
And by the look of it, they're even making false payments as a way to see if people will accept them. Because I said to Mod, right, listen, because the guy you spoke to on the phone, just to be completely honest and open and transparent with you, the guy he's spoken to on the phone said to him, because he said, well, how do I give you this money back? Because I don't want it in my account.
Yep.
How do I give it to you back? He said, well, it's only £10. So really, it's quite difficult for you. It needs to, he's like, yeah, my bank's saying,
But I'm going to be screwed for an overpayment with my tax returns for next year or this year now.
Right. And he's like, I'm not doing none of that. You're not going to trap me with an overpayment and make this a thing. And he said, well, to be honest, sir, there's really nothing we can do with a £10 payment. I mean, it would just be put down to our error.
But it's okay, Mod. You can restart the claim. We've got all the paperwork. You could still do
don't.
it. And I'm like,
Isn't it weird, though, that in this day and age, when we've got...
such a
I don't want to
deficit
get into
and
politics
you look at the news at the moment.
Right, without getting into politics at all, though, isn't it strange that in today's age where the budgets are so tight, that you have a benefit system literally trying to convince people to go back on benefits when they're trying to get off benefits? It doesn't make any sense.
Been off
that.
it and homeless in their eyes for 7 years, and they're trying to dangle the carrot. I make more than that in a couple of weeks. You know, I do. I make more. We make more than that in a couple of weeks. Why am I going to sit and sponge for a little £450 or whatever it was that they said I could claim a month when I can get that in 2 weeks? I can get double that in 4 weeks. I can get dominoes.
Well, just to clear things up, though, only since having the YouTube has it been that affluent. Because prior to the YouTube, we were odd jobbing.
So we were living hand to mouth pretty much all the time.
What it meant is it wasn't always cash payments.
No.
A lot of it was things like help yourself to the the food, help yourself to the farm, the
help
produce.
yourself to the washing machine, tumble dryer, charge your packs.
Yeah, a lot of it was a help yourself deal rather than a monetary deal. But
yeah, or like Tom and Trish, you know. I won't say their surnames, but Tom and Trish used to ask us round for dinner.
yeah, we went for regular meals.
Yeah, come round for dinner, and we're
always
like,
provided
sure?
lunch on the job.
Yeah, are you
Always.
sure? And they're like, yeah, you know, you do so much for us. And if you look at one of our other work videos, the £45 that we got paid that day, we saved them 1,200 quid or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And you kind of look at that and go, we've tried to do that off of our own hearts and give back more than we would essentially give. And they then gave back more because they felt like they had to. And it swings and roundabouts. It really is.
Yeah.
And it's that respect.
It's about
and value.
appreciating, isn't it? It's about appreciating each other. And
Yeah.
it works both ways, we feel. We feel that we need to appreciate our clients the same way our clients appreciate us.
But much like our relationship, I have to appreciate that Tara, she has her way of doing things and I've compromised with that, and vice versa.
Same vice versa, yeah. My biggest problem was handing some reins over and allowing somebody to have my back, I guess, and to take care of me in any way, because I'm too used to taking care of myself. So that has been a struggle, and every now and then it will rear its ugly head.
Yeah.
Just because I'm determined that he's not going to fill a gap that I don't want him to fill.
Yeah.
But I'm aware that it's my problem.
And you know what? It's my problem too. You know, every woman, in respects, needs looking after. Sorry, maybe I should put that a different way. I would like to look after my woman.
Every man wants to look after his woman.
Yeah.
I think that's the way they want to put it.
And my woman, Tara, wants to look after me. In order to have those scales...
Who's doing what needs to be established.
Yeah, and I think that's the most important bit, is find out who you are as a couple.
What you're good at.
What your strengths and your weaknesses are.
Yeah, basically, if one of you are better at something than the other needs to bow down to it. Just let it go.
Yeah.
Even if it's something that you feel is going against your manlyhood or your womanhood,
Yep.
it's tough. Let it go. Let it go. It's not worth the fight, the battle, and the constant barrage you're going to have for the entire relationship. If you want to get on and make life comfortable, know when to let something go and when to...
Pump it up as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing actually that we do. Like when Mod does something and he's really, and I see he's struggling and he's pulling in some effort and he's really taking it out of him, I'm there praising him the whole time. And if he's seeing me doing something in a similar way, on a female stance, he's there doing the same, you know. That I think that nowadays people think, oh, they know how I feel, I don't need to tell them. Actually, everyone loves to be told.
Yeah.
Everybody loves to be told, hey, babe, that's a real good job you've done there. Well done. That's awesome. I couldn't have done that. Or, oh, thank you for helping me out. Oh, I couldn't have done it without you. That's absolutely amazing. Make someone feel special for the efforts they make.
I think, yeah, in this lifestyle, our nomadic lifestyle, it may be for some a bitter pill to swallow, but
gratitude goes a long way.
Appreciation, yeah, gratitude. The gratitude and the appreciation goes a long way.
It helps harness the respect as well, doesn't it, out of the two of you? Because you go, oh, I really respect that he's totally slogged his guts out there just getting that sorted.
Yeah.
You know, and same vice versa.
I mean, you
know?
remember some of those videos of when I was walking up and down the mountains going to do shops and get bits and bobs and stuff, and Tara's doing her art. Well, do you know what? When she got paid for her art, you know, that's her money, because she's the one that absolutely pulled her ass out to do it. But she turns around and says, no, it's our money.
It all goes in the pot.
So then I have to swallow that because I want to be the man.
As a man, he hates the fact that I've earned some money and it was just me that earned it. And, you know, that's hard for him because I'm going, well, now he's looking at me going, well, I'm not going to just spend it. It's just in the pot.
Yeah.
It's in the same pot as all the money goes in. It's just in the pot.
Yeah. You know, but I've never once, even when it was the benefits money or my photography money or anything, I've never once begrudged Tara having what she wants.
And neither the other way.
And the other way. But it's just that moment of pride you kind of got to go, oh, okay, we need this.
Yeah.
Tara made the money out of her art to be able to get this or to get that, isn't
So
it?
I guess what lessons have we learned from trying to establish a relationship on the road like this? So for those of you that are already in a relationship or are going solo, I mean, for a solo person, you may be thinking, okay, I could either go it alone, especially if you're a guy, it's easier. I can go it alone, or I can find somebody and make a pairing up with, but at least now you know some of the issues that might come up in doing that. Particularly if I mean, I'm going to say that if you're both on the road, you're going to both be strong-willed people.
Yeah.
Right, so
Yeah.
it's inevitable. You're not going to have this life and be a bit of a waif.
No.
So, it is inevitable that will be the case. So I guess what we learned and what we would like to share with you guys is to have a romance is probably to have a partner in this life. I think, I'm going to put it this way, I would hate to go back being solo.
Yeah, I would.
Together, it works really well. We share our weight loads, we share our responsibilities, we share our tasks. It takes the load off. It makes life a lot easier. So maybe if you are going solo and you're a guy and you've got it all sussed, that's fine. If you're a woman going solo and you've got it all sussed, that's fine.
Good luck meeting someone else on the road.
Yeah, and hopefully if you do meet somebody on the road, this video will give you a little bit of a what to be considering and maybe put it into place a bit quicker than what we did.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is being a nomad in the UK, not everyone's a nomad in the UK. It's not like the Pacific Crest Trail or the Appalachian Trail where there's males and females all going for that 2,500 mile walk. When you're out here, there's no one.
I was in the mindset, the reason I shaved my head and all that, not only did I not want to bother with a relationship, but also I thought, if I meet somebody, all they're going to do is try to convince me to move into a home and a house, back into bricks. I thought, there's no way I'm going to say to them, I'm going to convince them to come and live in my tent with me for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be a 1 in a billion chance that I met somebody that had already committed to wanting to live this way.
I hit gold.
I mean, it's got to be a 1 in a billion chance, but you never know. That could be the 1 in a billion chance for you as well, right? Particularly as it seems a lot of people are getting into the idea now.
Yeah.
So maybe there'll be more of us out there one day, and maybe love could be on the road for you. And if it is, then hopefully this video...
Just watch these series and use that as your armour maybe. Or use that to expand and open up going, oh, watch these people. Oh, me too. And you can start to learn and unpick what is good for you, what is bad for you. Some of you might not think texting
is a way to resolve an argument. But
yeah.
Funnily enough, it works.
For us.
It works.
Yeah.
Put it this way, it's better than us screaming at each other and then realising that half the world has heard.
Yeah. Or you're paranoid the next morning because you probably most definitely got busted in the night.
Yeah.
Not many people, especially this day and age, are going to listen to people screaming on a mountain and not do anything about it.
Yeah.
So it's you're not going to stay undetected. Not for very long at all.
Text it. Text arguments.
Yeah. Anything you can say will be used against you.
Yeah, it's
You
all
said
written
this.
now. It's all written. Be careful what you write.
So if you have enjoyed this content, do consider sticking around, subscribing, liking and all that hype. Because in the next episode of this series, we've got how we were testing each other.
Testing each other's skill sets.
Yeah, against our forageables, our medicinals and all that.
Takes a lot of trust when it comes to things like forageables, medicinals.
It does indeed.
Particularly when you're arguing still.
Yes, because I could make something, or Tara could make us something to eat and I won't wake up.
And same vice versa.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So there's going to be a fun one. Yeah, it will be cool. But a lot more.
So stay tuned to stay abreast.
Yes.
And particularly if you are thinking of dipping your toes into this world, we hope that you can get something from this and make it a little bit smoother, as we say.
Most definitely. But do share us around. Let us hit more people. And
Happy
hopping.